gonna start with the Matthew McConaughey intro today. All right. Okay, so Matthew McConaughey, an American actor, awesome guy, by the way. He used to have that all right in every single speech at the Oscars and like Grammys, no, not Grammys, but every single award ceremony. And he was asked why he was saying like all right. And I think it's from an old movie. Can't remember the original actor. And he was asked like off camera, what's a good day for him like, and he said, Mama is around. We got all the alcohol and drugs, and there's some good music on radio. And somebody commented with all right, and that's why he used it. So Mama is around, alcohol and drugs are available too, and there's some good music coming up. So this one's especially for you, Tyler. I know he's going to listen to it. All right, guys. So welcome back to Greg's Coffee Talks. It's me and Tobi today again. So today we want to talk about what are we going to talk about today, Tobi?
About the current situation in coaching in a gym, because there's no coaching in the gym right now, and how we can handle that, or what is our plan, how we can handle that, so that the customer's going to stay in the gym, that we're going to keep them moving, and they just have what we're going to do so that they just have something to do.
Mm-hmm. So Tobi's still way too polite on the podcast. So I'm going to play the bad cop and throw some rocks. So today we want to talk about the big monster out there today is online training. So what's the current situation, Tobi? So how are we training people? Or let's go back to like March 2020, when the first lockdown here in Austria occurred and happened. So what did we do?
We started with Zoom calls. I think 3 times a day. On the weekend we did it once a day, and we wrote down some programming which the people had been able to do by themselves at home. We started coaching them online, so we did Zoom calls, explained them the workout, how it should look like, and just watched them move. What was for the first week okay for me, but then it was fucking boring.
Okay, let's sum up the situation. So we were forced, or everybody was forced. Everybody was forced to kind of close their gym from one day to the other. They had to come up with an idea how to keep people moving, which is awesome. And all you coaches and personal trainers and gym owners out there, like I tip my hat for everybody who kept their people moving. Let's put this out first. And so did we, basically. So we started with Zoom calls from one day to the other, 3 times a day, blah, blah, blah. And I think everything has a time and place. And it's been, good 10 months now already in that Corona situation. And my point being is, like, this can't be the best solution. Let's be honest. I mean, nobody likes Zoom calls, right? It's a great solution as of now, or it was a great solution as of now. But what could be the next step, right? So what's gonna? Because I don't like sticking at a certain point, whether it's in training or in life or in business. So I'm always thinking about, okay, this was a good start. It was probably the best we could do at that time. But now 10 months in, I would love to talk about ideas we have and how to develop and progress online training. So let's talk from your perspective first. What's the hardest part from a coach's standpoint? Like
during Zoom calls.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty obvious that you can't really coach other people because you don't see them moving from other angles and other views. So, and it's not like you're having a conversation to the other to the person who is training. So you just all you can do is throw in some keywords and tell them what
keep people motivated, keep them moving.
And that's pretty boring after like 3 minutes. Just tell them, keep going, do that and do that. I mean, me, during the first lockdown, I didn't train myself online, so I didn't join an online session. I met with some friends outside. We did a run to some hill or something. Did a little workout out there. Everybody was moving. We've been able to talk to each other, and we all saw each other moving. And then we went back, and that was our training. That was much more interesting for us.
And I think that's obviously the one thing that people are missing the most is like meeting other people and having a social interaction and that community feeling when they're working out. And that's per se not like, you can't copy that online, obviously, but maybe there's we got some cool ideas how to pimp that up. But let's wrap it up real quick. So what we've seen in the first lockdown was like participation around, was it 50% of the people, 50% of the members, roughly, maybe a little bit less, 40%. So that means we have 150 members, so around about 60 people regularly showing up, which is not a bad number. In the second lockdown, so let's call it October, November, we've seen a pretty huge drop in terms of numbers, and we're basically in lockdown since November now in some sort or the other, some way or the other. We just continuously see the numbers decreasing.
Yes.
So what can we do about it? So we stuck our heads together, and maybe we can combine the best of both worlds. So what does that mean?
I think it was also very important that it's more interesting for us. That
hell yeah,
we like what we do, and I mean, I like doing Zoom calls when I have a conversation with somebody else. I can talk to a specific point with somebody and help him this way. But it's just boring. Watch other people move and doing nothing. Just watch on the laptop.
Exactly, plain simple. And why is it boring? Because I think it reminded me a lot about my early days of coaching, which was being an instructor and writing a workout on the whiteboard and explaining everything and just running through the movements. And you push the button, you start the clock, and then just people freak out, and basically you have like no access to them whatsoever. Yes, you'll go around, you'd be like, okay, push your knees out and make sure you're going to grip A, B, C, D. But as we all know, those are like bullshit phrases. This is only to calm down your inner demons of saying, hey, you got to do something now, dude, because otherwise you were just standing 20 minutes in the corner and just watching people, which already sounds very weird when you think about it. So you walk around and you throw some stuff out there, and I get that motivational part, like let's keep going and keep it up, blah blah blah, which is great, keeping the spirits high. But from a true coaching perspective, there's zero you can do in a workout.
Exactly.
The only thing you can make sure is that people are not going to kill themselves. But from an educational standpoint, there's nothing happening in a workout. Anything that you haven't done before, whether it's muscle activation or just people thinking about some stuff in a workout, how to breathe, how to move, blah, 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 is not going to happen when your heart rate is at 180 beats per minute. So,
and that's also boring for the person who's training. Like we saw in the first lockdown, people joined the sessions and it got less and less and less. So why do you think people didn't join anymore?
Because it's probably the opposite of what we've been doing in the gym.
Yeah.
Like it's bodyweight workouts, more or less. Yes, we've rented out equipment to our members, et cetera. But at the end of the day, if not every household is participating has the same equipment available, then it's just going to hard riding workouts. So basically, you're going to stick to bodyweight movements, and that's just probably that's one of the main reasons for me, and that's simply annoying.
Yeah.
Doing lunges 3 times a week and doing air squats and doing push-ups, which is fine if you sprinkle them in, but for me personally, this can't be the center of a strength and conditioning programming. Like, it's obviously got to be in there, but especially in times like this, if you're not doing strength training at home, man, all that stress, all that energy has to go somewhere. And I'm pretty sure you cannot reduce that with burpees and running.
No, that's true.
So what's a good approach? So I think we need to start combining the best of both worlds, which means the coaching side, the movement part, the equipment stuff, and it all needs to be tied together. So in my little dream world, I'm going to sprinkle in some habitual changes, so behavioral changes, so to speak, which is, I think, what 99.9% of the people are shooting for, but they cannot phrase it. Because when people show up, whether it's an online training or an intro session here to the gym, it's always going to be, and just correct me if I'm wrong, but I've done hundreds of intro sessions, and it was either about losing weight, gaining some muscle,
getting fit.
Exactly.
That means.
Very vague, getting fit. So I think we have a very hard time actually verbalizing what the goal of our training is. So we're going to stick to like the most common ones, which is losing weight and gaining some muscles and getting a 6-pack and getting fit, but nobody really knows what that means. So what I think people are looking for, and what I'm looking for in my own training, is, okay, I want to use this as a tool to create behavioral changes. That means there are situations where I don't like how I behave, whether that's positive or negative. I'm not going to judge it. I'm going to observe it. Whether it's getting grumpy too early or too soon, or just being stressed out 5 minutes into solving a problem. Just stuff that happens obviously on a daily basis. And I want to use training to actually target those situations and train how to react in those situations. So I don't want to solve it. I don't want to solve the problem with training, like in training. I want to solve it by the learning experience you had in your training. So that means when you grab a sandbag and we tell you squat for 2 minutes, which is physically not possible if you choose the right weight, I'm interested in, okay, how are you going to react 90 seconds in? Are you going to bitch about it? Are you going to complain about your shoes? Are you going to complain about the sticky or non-sticky floor you're standing on? That the sandbag is too slippery today? That you haven't slept your 7.43 hours at night. And we're all going to go to our excuses, obviously, because that's how we as humans are built. But I want to teach you through training how to react to them, and especially outside of your training. Because let's say if you're training 2 hours a week, 3 hours a week, there's let me do the math here real quick. There's 168 hours a week, if I'm not mistaken, 24 times 7, 168 hours. So you get 165 other hours in the week where you're not training. But that's where the real stuff happens. Like, that's when you get annoyed. That's where you get angry at your spouse or at yourself, or you feel like failing. So I want you to take that experience from the 3 hours of training and transform that into your daily life. That's literally the only reason why I'm training. And yes, everything else is a nice positive side effect, which is getting a little bit closer to a 6-pack, whatever that means. And if that's healthy or not, that's going to be covered in another podcast, I guess. Or you're going to get bigger legs or smaller booty or whatever, but that's only a side effect. So for me, the real challenge is how can we elicit habitual and behavioral changes in people while training them as hard as possible, and how to teach people that this is so necessary, but not because of the fucking 15 sandbag squats, but because of how you will react when you get stressed, pissed, feel like a failure, or feel like a success. And that's what we're working on right now, is combining obviously great workouts, but there's great workouts everywhere, combining with great equipment. There's great equipment everywhere, sandbags and pec stick and whatsoever. But how can we introduce like habitual changes from the most successful people in the world to find your groove, like to find your baseline, to find your balance in real life. And by real life, I mean that's everything outside the gym.
I don't know if it fits to your story, but I had the problem when I'm working at my desk and I keep working there for like an hour or longer. I'm getting tired by sitting around and doing the same shit for hours, minutes, whatever. So I started changing my work desk and changed to a standing work desk, and that helped me a lot. Keeping concentrated, I'm working faster, and that's also in training. Like when I have to do a workout with 20 minutes MWeb something, I'm already pissed because I'm thinking of 20 minutes. I have to do the same shit and nothing changed. But when I do something, for example, I do some heavy squats after that, I know that I can like move in a way I want to move. I like moving heavy and less reps. And so I also changed my work desk at home. Now I'm standing and I'm able to work for like an hour without falling asleep doing that. But another problem is that my work desk is pretty, like, everything is on the work desk now, so I'm not able to use it right now. But I'm cleaning up everything right now, and I want to get back to my work desk, being able to work there, and because I'm in a much better flow working there compared to sitting around and work.
That's perfect. I mean, that's the only reason why we're doing this is helping you figure out what's your style of training. It's not follow our workouts. It's, okay, this is stuff that has worked for us or for the two of us specifically. And it's a good place to start working out because it's going to keep you sane and healthy and blah, blah, blah. But the ultimate goal is, okay, you have to find out how you need to train to find your baseline and find your groove, whatever that means. If you need to train in the morning, how many reps you need to do. Like if you need to do, presses, squats, like that's enticing stuff. That's what you need to figure out. And for you was a standing desk, which helped you be more efficient and be more productive, so to speak.
Yep.
Awesome. Is that going to work for everybody? Probably not. And that's the only reason. That's the only reason why we're here. So that's going to be a major part in our Get Craxy programming. Is yes, there will be online stuff, obviously, but a huge chunk will be like coaching services. And I have yet to see a service which is not work intensive, whether it's teaching, coaching, whatever. And it needs, I think I've said this before, but it needs babysitting at first. There's no way around it. And that means a lot of work. And yes, you can try to outsource it to like apps and bots and whatnot, and that's technically gonna work, but this is the most unhuman approach I've ever seen. So yes, does that mean it's gonna be a shitload of work for us in the beginning? Hell yeah, but I think that's exactly what it takes to make people better. There's no shortcut to this, neither from your side out there nor from our side. There's no shortcut to this other than to put in the daily work, us responding. You get unlimited messages, you get unlimited video calls. You can schedule a call whenever you want, literally whenever you have a problem. And yes, if this gives you goosebumps, positive and negatively, that means you're either not willing to put in the work as a coach, or you're thrilled because that's exactly what coaching is about. That's exactly what coaching is about. Is that going to naturally limit the participants in our program? Hell yes, it is. Maybe that means only 20, maybe it's only 50 people. Who cares? That's the way we want to do it.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah. Tobi's going to hop off now, and I'm going to continue.
See ya.
All right, Tobi, see you in a bit. Tobi needs to work. Online, obviously. All right, guys. So let me elaborate a little bit more on the structure. So what we've seen through Zoom calls is it's a nice activity. It's keeping people moving, but I think we need to go 2 or 3 steps further. So we're going to start the whole project with a little bit of a challenge. And as always, we've tried this on our own bodies. We tried the concept with us, with one-on-ones. And now it's time to roll it out to our members first. So what do the members get? They get access to sandbags, obviously. So they can buy sandbags, wholesale prices. They're going to get access to the equipment bundle. They're going to get access to the learning content online. And they're going to get access to personal coaching. Again, unlimited messages, unlimited video calls. We'll have challenge workouts together. And most importantly, we're going to put ourselves out there. So we've recorded every single workout for the first 4 weeks, meaning Tobi and I did every single workout. And trust me, although the workout seemed, fairly easy, if you put your heart into it, this is going to be really exhausting. And I think you guys out there need to see that we're doing that stuff too. And it's not perfect. Oh my God. Like when you see me doing 230 right now, and when I do like hollow holds and rocks and sandbag stuff, like that's not a piece of pure grace. But I think that's what training should look like. It's not perfect. My squat is not perfect. My whatever activation is not perfect. And that's fine. That's exactly where we're going to start. So you're gonna see us on tape moving. We're gonna do online calls together. So we're gonna train together, and with our members, we'll find a way, which is obviously gonna obey all the COVID rules right now, where we can partner them up, have like a training buddy, because now in Austria it's allowed to train with one other person from in your same household. So they're going to get accountability buddies, they're going to get sandbags, and they're going to train however the setting is possible, like in the backyard, from one fence to the other, on the streets. So that it's going to have a huge on-site component as well. And my main goal behind it is to create small little online tribes. On-site tribes. So that means every single one of you out there should create their own little training tribe. Whether it's 2 people, 3 people, 10 people, I don't care. Whether you do it formally, whether you call it a gym, whether you just call it a training group, awesome. If you're lucky and there's a gym nearby where you can do all your stuff, or you're like super lucky and can train with us here at Greg's, that's great. But I don't think that's going to be available for most of you out there. So my goal is to use online and online tools to create more on-site tribes again. That's basically my main motivation. And I think accountability is a second huge part of it. Accountability as in, yes, you get everyday interaction with us. You get messages. You have somebody you can actually talk to. We're gonna have an awesome challenge price system behind it. That means if you send in your work, that means if you're taking a picture of yourself, you're shooting a video. So if you're proving to yourself first and foremost that you're doing the work, you get in the pool and you get maybe drawn, and you can win awesome prizes, which means a big Greg's party at your house when things are settling again and it's allowed. You can win a photo shooting. You can win a video documentary about your training, about your training journey here in the gym. So there's really, really cool stuff coming up. And last but not least, the behavioral changes are going to be very closely attached to the Greg's journal. So every single member of us got an actual book, so a journal. I'm going to practice a journal from us last Christmas. So Christmas 2019. And we're going to bring it to good use. So you're going to get behavioral exercises like working on some stuff in the morning, creating a movement habit, which is literally going to start with easy stuff. 10 squats in the morning. Okay, now you're thinking, okay, what are 10 squats going to do? Well, 10 squats are going to do 10 squats. And over the course of the month, you will have accumulated 300, right? 10 times 30. And that's going to make a change. And times 12, that means 3,600 squats that you haven't done before. And this is just to create a behavioral change within you. It's not about the squats. It's about you doing something. And you doing something towards a change you want to elicit. Right? That's going to be a huge part of it. And last but not least, and probably I should have mentioned this in the beginning, we want to give you guys, starting with our members, something back, which is in times like this, you think you've lost control of everything, right? You can't even decide on when to go on holidays anymore. And this is tough. This can be draining. This can drown you in your own sorrow. So the main reason why we want to start that Get Crazy challenge is you gaining control back of your own life. And because what I've seen so far is the less you can control, the more you're going to let yourself down on a lot of other stuff. And that's something that I truly want to work against, whether it's nutrition or movement. And that's what we're basically starting the program with our members now in January. And for the rest of you, I guess a couple of weeks later, who knows? And this is about flipping the script. So stop being controlled, stop waiting to be told what to do, because that's what's basically happening right now, and that's why a lot of people are pissed about. And so we want to teach you how to slowly gain control of stuff that you can control right now. I think it's not enough to just bitch about the situation and be like, oh, whatever government A or B or C is doing, and I'm not gonna judge it. And I can't do anything that's all out of my control. And I want to give some hope and some control and some true changes back and see where we can take this. I think that's as far as we're going to take it today. That's our thoughts on online training. Stepping away from Zoom calls only towards creating your own small little on-site tribes. Lucky enough if you have a gym available, which is going to obviously help a ton, but it still can be an add-on, like you meeting Saturday in the park, right? You don't go to the gym, you just grab 2 sandbags and a pack stick and you just hop in the park, train for 20-30 minutes. Like, this is doable, but we have to start. We have to start delivering awesome strength training to normal people to deliver abnormal results. And we've seen this in the gym over the last couple of years. I'm super excited to get it started. I know how much work this is going to be for us coaching wise. But I'm excited. I'm more than pumped to figure out how to do that whole concept and not let any other company take over the online training world and educate people via videos, AI coaches, and lease models. All right, that's as far as it goes today. Thanks for listening, guys. And I guess we'll hear each other soon. Have a good day. Stay crazy.